5 years ago, I achieved my dream of becoming a professional FIFA player and played in tournaments all around the world. And today, I'm going to be helping you guys when it comes to your defending with the tips and tricks that I still use to this very day. If you guys could do me a favour and leave a like on the video, let's try and hit 100. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you doing? You will become a better FIFA player. Hit that sub button right now and let's get to 100k. If you're tired of coming up against teams like this, you can get some foot coins through MMO EXP using the link down below. You can also use code JambooUK for 5% off. As cliche as it sounds, defending starts at the front, and you need to be alert and aware as to what your opponent is going to do and when they're going to do it. So you can see here the ball is in my opponent's half, and what you're looking for in these situations is any opportunity that you can cut a passing lane. My general rule when defending is when the ball is in my opponent's half, I can be more aggressive. And when the ball is in my own half, I'll be a little bit more careful and try and cut lanes rather than pressing. What you see here is a very common situation where the opponent has the ball on the edge of the area. I think far too many people fall into the trap of just charging at the guy with the ball. There's one thing I want you guys to remember from this video, and it is 2 jobs at once. Keep that phrase in your head and I'll explain why later on in the video. So there's going to be times like this where your opponent just does have the ball on the edge of your box for a while, and your job is to cut these lanes in the middle of the pitch. He actually plays a really nice pass here to get into the edge of my box. All you've got to do is not panic, use the right stick to switch, and end up stepping in and making a tackle. You can see what I like to do is I mix it with the second man press, and that is where the 2 jobs at once comes in. You want to actively try and press the ball whilst cutting passing lanes, and the second man press is the perfect tool to do that. So you can see here what I like to do is with the second man press I will get more aggressive, and then with the player I'm actually manually controlling, we'll use those to cut the passing lane. So you can see here we do win the ball back. And another thing that people tend to forget is defending it is not just about when you don't have the ball. You have to make sure you don't lose the ball when you win it back. That is something that's super important. Here we trigger an offside trap. Obviously what that does is it pushes our team up very high, and it just completely throws this guy here. It cancels out his option. I'll let this one play out again for you. So the offside trap is activated here. You can see that his player that he was going to try and pass to just gets taken out the equation because of that. He then tries to rush a through ball, but because our players are pushed up, we actually have it already covered. This is another example of using the second man press whilst also manually pressing with a player. So you can see the player that has the green icon above his head is getting closer to the ball. I'm trying to just create pressure here on my opponent and not let him breathe, so to speak. So you can see we're being quite aggressive. Offside trap to push our team up as well. Failed second man press there, but the point was there. You know, we put a bit of pressure on the ball, and then we're careful. We head the ball down and play our way out of the back. An opportunity like this is dangerous because he is on a counter-attack, and you can see here, be honest, let me know in the comments, what would you do in this exact situation? Because I know a lot of people would just charge at the guy with the ball here. So would you A, charge and try and intercept the or tackle the ball, or would you B, try and mark the run in behind like I am here? Be honest, no cheating. So you can see here, the danger is cut out. You don't have to worry about the guy that has the ball in the middle here because there is 0 danger. He's in his own half. The only danger here is this runner in behind, which we're cutting out. So you can see here we step in and then keep the ball very nicely. Sometimes when defending in FIFA, you do get a little bit unlucky. So you can see here we're cutting the passing lane with Pogba. Don't know how that got through, but it did. There's an opportunity here to step in and win the ball. And it's one of those where it is a risk, but it can pay off. Because if I win the ball here, I'm in his half and I'm catching him off guard. So you can see what happens is I end up charging in. I do not know how we didn't win the ball, but we didn't. So you just have to stay switched on. It would have been very easy for me to just capitulate here and end up giving my opponent an easy chance. However, you just have to stay composed. Use the jockey with the left trigger and mark the runs in behind. So you can see here, we just shuffle out, we mark out the attack, nice and simple. And even when things go wrong, there's always another chance to recover, at least normally. 99% of the time, there's something else you can do. I often get asked the best areas for using things like the jockey, and this is a perfect example of it. You can see here, there's a potential passing opportunity on for my opponent, but there's also a shooting opportunity. What holding the left trigger does is it activates the jockey. I don't recommend always using this while sprinting because it makes the jockey worse, but what you get with the jockey is enhanced auto tackles and blocks. So if he passes the ball across here, I'm likely going to intercept it, and as you're going to see, we also block the shot. So you can do two things at once because the jockey is ridiculously overpowered. So our opponent has a corner here, and obviously, it's a little bit RNG. If he wins the header, there's always that chance he can score. But what you have to try and do is take an opportunity from it. So for me, I never recommend just booting the ball out of play or just heading it out randomly. I always try and actually look for something. So I can see the ball coming in here. I've got Rashford. He's got Vardy. I'm likely going to win the header. So what I do is I just nod it down to my player and then actually try and go on an attack from it. I'm looking at my mini-map here and seeing if there's a counter-attack opportunity. I look at my player at the bottom of the screen and we attempt to go on a counter-attack here. Because all of his players are up from a corner, it's just a great opportunity to get at him. Driven pass into a sprint boost, and then we just fly past his defender and find the back of the net. And that is a perfect example how composed defending using normal football mechanics in FIFA can make your opponent rage quit.